The NSAS protest started as a peaceful gathering of thousands of young Nigerians asking for change, but sadly ended in bloodshed and loss of lives thanks to the Nigerian army. It took with it every hope that I had for a change and made me realize just how deep the rot is. I knew I just had to get out. I had always dreamed of leaving Nigeria, but that was fueled mainly by a personal desire to explore and experience more. Now, it was about survival. The question was how and to where. I think a lot of young Nigerians really felt the same after, NSAS ended because welcome to a new dispensation. It was the order of the day on Twitter, almost like every other day. And honestly, it actually made my desire to move even more heightened. So I started Project Leave Nigeria, and the way my mind works is that I like to work with steps. So it's always like, okay, step one is this, step two, step three, and then eventually we get to the end. And so my first step was writing my IELTS and getting that out of the way. The step was deciding where I wanted to live, and I wrote down like countries that had favorable immigration policies. On my list I had like UK, Canada, obviously, Australia, and then some like Germany, Netherlands, France, Dubai. And then next step was actually how. Okay, so how do I plan to do this thing? Obviously there's school, there's PR, that's Canada, there's PR, there's job sponsorship. And in my mind that time, I was like, okay, I know I actually want to go back to school because I have a medicine and surgery degree, but I don't have like an actual marketing or communications degree. And I've always wanted to go back and get a degree in marketing, branding. So I started looking for schools. I looked for schools in the UK. But I don't know, I was seeing the prices and I'm like, who gonna pay this money? That's not me, I don't have the money. And my friends were like, just apply, I don't even know how that one went. I don't think I was super serious about it because when I looked at the price, the rates, the school fees, I was really discouraged. But I know, yes, what Canada does not exist. But yeah, I looked at it and I just started, procrastinating and all of that. But PR, that was like my backup. I'm just going to apply for this thing. I applied for my PR, did the application online, sent it in, and yeah, I just chilled pretty much. I feel like I cannot talk about my journey to Canada without talking about it with Mark. We started it separately and then we got married and then we finished it together. And I'm actually so, I tell you this thing, but I'm actually so grateful that we got married and that I joined your own, because I feel like it would have been so stressful for me.
Because your own was just
because I was just
someone
like,
else is doing it.
Yeah, you're the primary applicant. I was just like, oh, thank God, finally. Anyway, so let's be serious, babe. So we're going to be talking about our PR process and journey to Canada. Okay, so I already talked about my own, wanting to leave Nigeria. And Canada it wasn't like a dream or anything per se. It was just a means to an end, I guess, in some sort of way. Because it could have been UK, it could have been Canada, it could have been Germany, it could have been anywhere, literally. But PR clicked, so I'm like, yeah. I like I already said in the first half of this video, when I saw the rates, like the fee for a master's, I was like, yeah. Your girl don't got no money, so yeah.
Been doing that.
Yes, so PR team was the one. I mean, there was a lot of money. Oh, we should actually talk about the amount spent. I didn't even think that far.
Don't worry, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Let's take from the beginning. I'll talk my story up to the point where we joined applications, and then she'll talk her. So my story actually started in 2014. That's why I say it's been a long journey. So initially, I was supposed to come to Canada through the school option. So I applied for schools for my master's, applied to the UK, applied to Canada, and then I got an admission in Canada, but back then they were, for some odd reason, which doesn't make sense till today, they send you the admission letter by mail, by post. And living in such a beautiful country as Nigeria.
For real?
The post got to me a month after I got the admission.
What year was that?
2014. 2015 actually, sorry, correct, 2015. And I was just like, yeah, I had in that time been waiting, and I also applied to the UK. And the UK, they're looking for international students, they still are. So in less than 1 week, I had like admission to 3 schools. So I was like, you know what? I mean, Canada is not answering my phone call. Let me go to UK. I have family there. I've been there a couple of times, so it would have been a softer landing. So I paid for my UK school fees, and then maybe like 2 weeks to when I was supposed to leave for the UK, the Canadian letter now came, and I was like, yeah, already paid. So all I can do is this. So I went to Canada, and my friends.
You went to UK.
So I went to UK, and my friends that were sharp went to Canada. So they stayed like maybe 5 or 6, 7 years, this Canadian journey to me. But then I came back to Nigeria 2016, and like maybe half of the people that I knew were already in Canada. I was like, okay, first of all, I don't want to be here, but also I was just like, okay, people are doing this thing, but it wasn't a do it now for me. It was like, oh, let me get some experience and then move.
Before you move.
And then 2020 was when like stuff got real, because like in the space of 6 months, like maybe 10 of my close friends moved to Canada.
Mad.
Like these are my close G's, and then one of my very close friends, Ebuka, was like, oh yeah, they've also called me. At that point in time, I was like, you know what? It's time to get serious to Canada. And then, October 10th then happened. October 20 then happened. And then, at that point I was like, okay, you know what? I need to leave.
Oh, mine is different because by 2019, I didn't even really know what like PR express entry was about. I remember my colleague at work was trying to process hers, and she just used to talk about it like one very deep, stressful process. And I was like, okay, good for you. Okay, sis. And then, I think 2020 happened too. And then, no, COVID happened first, and there was lockdown. And then there were like so many people always preaching, oh, immigrate to this, immigrate. I think that was the period a lot of people had time to really sit down and be like doing, immigration pathways. And then I started listening, and then, of course, NSAS. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm writing my IELTS, and I just applied. Yeah, pretty much.
So at that point in time, 2020 was when I now said, okay, let me write IELTS, because I'd been just deleting. So I registered for my IELTS. I had a date in December. Then my result came out in January, and then there was a pause on everything. So it was like,
I'm surprised you're not bragging about your results, because you're always bragging about your results.
No, I mean, I don't want to shout so much, because it's not something we need to bring on air. Let's not loud it too much. I think a lot of people.
You got a really perfect result.
A lot of people get like a perfect score.
I know a lot of people get perfect scores.
I just like 9.0 is not too much.
You got 9.0.
Yeah.
Wait, the total is 9.0.
Yeah.
You got 9.0 over 9.0.
I mean, I'm not. Let's not talk about.
I think I got 8.5.
Yeah, you got 8.5. Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways,
result came out in January, and then February I was like, okay, I jumped into the pool January, and then February first they used to do the draws every 2 weeks.
I didn't even know all of this.
First 2 weeks came, no draw. I say, what is going on? 1 month, no draw. 2 months, no draw. 3 months. Do you know this pool did not do? So before I even go too far, let me explain how this thing works.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
You hear express entry a lot. I know a lot of people know what this is, but for those who might be living under a rock and don't know express entry,
that used to be me.
There are two, routes towards being a permanent resident. There are two popular routes.
Immigrating to Canada.
Outside the school route. You have the provisional nomination scheme, and then you have the federal skilled worker scheme. Both of them are a bit similar. With the federal skilled worker scheme, basically you're looking, okay, who people have the rights, age, educational background, work background, come and add value to the Canadian economy, and settle anywhere you want. So if you like, settle in Ontario, settle in VC, they don't care, just come. Whereas with the provisional nominational scheme, the provinces are then given freedom to target people that they feel would have the particular skill set. So some provinces need, for example, healthcare workers. Some need architects, construction people. So they'll target people in the express entry pool who have those skill sets and give them a provisional nomination. Now, what that means is you might not need to have like age on your side or have a second degree, because once they call you like this, even if your point was 100, bam, they give you like 400, 500 points. So you are above everybody. What also means is that you have to live in that province for a minimum of 2 years. So just know that your landing point is going to be 2 years. So I mean, it's a give and take, whichever works for you. People that don't have age and educational background and work experience on their end usually go for that, because it gives them more points and a better skill. So, and we applied for FSW, and from like 2021 February to 2022.
November.
No. It came back in, I think it was September, October.
Oh yeah, November was when we actually now put everything, sent everything.
September. I think it was like August, September. But I remember that.
That was when we got our ITA.
Throughout that period, throughout that 1 year plus, we were only calling people that had PMP. We got married July last year. We got married July last year. And then we said, okay, let's just, because we also heard around that period that, okay, they're going to restart it again. So I was like, you know what? We already don't want to do this. We're married. Let's jump into the pool. We're already in the pool, but then we're join individually. Together.
Yeah. So then you added me to your profile.
And you also added.
And then I added you to my profile as well. Yeah, I can't remember what my score was. What was my score?
So your score was 481 individually, also 481. Then luckily for us, your sister.
My sister, traveled. My sister got her own PR, and so it give us 491. 499.
Yeah, so luckily for us, her sister.
I feel like everything just really. I'm sorry, I'm talking about you. I feel like everything just really aligned. I'm sorry, I keep talking about timing because it's always bust my head. Because it's crazy. It's like we were doing this thing separately, and then we met, and then when we actually needed the pointers, my sister got called, and so she could give us some of her points for us to be able to, go higher. I don't know. It just seemed like everything just worked out. We had that 1 year plus where we were like, oh, nothing's happening. Oh my god. And then at the right time, everything just happened so quickly. It was crazy. We got our PR in about 4 months. Like after we.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
No, but it's just crazy. I'm always thinking about it. Like, okay, go on. Mm-hmm.
So again, we didn't mention it earlier, but the first stage is usually you create an account with IRCC. That's the immigration people for Canada. You make the account IRCC, answer a couple questions about your education. You upload your IELTS score. Also
your work experience, I guess.
Yeah, just put in your work experience. Don't need any reference.
Nothing deep,
yeah. And then do your education verification with WES.
Or physician apply if you're a doctor.
Yeah, it's specific to the kind of education you have, and then you shall enter the pool. So the pool is where you have 1,000,001 people. It's like one big tank, and they will now say, okay, we want to call people. Let's take bowl and scrape from the top. So how deep they scrape is what is the cutoff point. So you just hope that your score is at or above the cutoff point. When that happens is when you now get the invitation to apply. Yeah, so so they started again about August, September, and we're like, we have 499, forget it.
481.
No, 499 when we joined our scores together.
With my sister. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, we have 499, forget it. Like once they start, they'll call us, and when they started,
bro,
you're supposed to have 500 or something. I was like, first of all, God punish you, because the highest they did before that was like maybe 480 something. It was because we had low as 450 something before they stopped.
I'm sure it's because they had so many people in the pool from all the backlog, and they're just trying to weed people off.
Yeah, those were some heartbreaking couple of months, and I had a friend, and we did
both
like
of you are always checking
spreadsheet.
It.
So we did a spreadsheet. We did a statistical model to predict when
what the next score will be.
They will get to our numbers. And trust IRCC, those people you cannot predict, because they wake up today, they remove 10 points. Next tomorrow they remove 2 points.
2 points.
There was a draw they did that was 1 point difference from the last 2 weeks. And I was like, are you people kidding me? So it was like 2-3 months of every 2 weeks on Thursday.
Checking. I didn't even use to stress.
Checking the points to know what's going on.
I feel like Mark was stressing enough for both of us that period. In my mind, I was just like, in my head it's like if you start worrying or wanting something too much, then I'll have high blood pressure or something. So I just allowed you to do it, and I'll just be the buffer to be like, it's okay, don't worry, next week we'll check. Next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then like I said, we're unpredictable. So this week you're like, okay, I know where next 2 weeks for sure, you reach our number.
And you did it.
And then they'll go up, and I'm like, come on. But eventually one day, I was heading back home, and I said, let me even check what's going on. And I got
to our score. And then we checked our emails. I think you messaged me, or you didn't message me, you go home and you were smiling or something like that.
So I go home and I was just shining teeth. So let's check our mails.
Yeah.
And then we saw it. So I was like, okay.
So that's the invitation to apply.
This has gotten
real. Yeah, that's when they tell you that, you can now start submitting your documents. They now look at it really thoroughly and know if they want to actually.
Yeah. So we got our invitation to apply in October.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was October because I remember because we had a deadline.
Yeah. Oh yes. Because my IELTS was expiring. It was expiring November 21 or thereabouts.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing is so crazy. Like, why? Okay, that's another conversation. But yeah. So we had to submit by November 20.
So we had to submit by November 20. Now there were two problems. Number one problem was to get appointment for medicals in Lagos.
Oh yeah, that was another thing where timing really worked. Go on, no, that's your story to tell.
Yeah. So because I knew that the points were coming, I was like, okay, let me try and find dates for medicals or more. I did check, nothing. The closest date was maybe 2 or 3 months after. And I knew that, we had to get
you need a date
because you need to do your medicals to submit your documents. I was like, what's going on? And I think one day, I was just talking to my mom, and she was like, and she mentioned something about the medical. I was like, let me even go and check.
Yeah, and then you checked the site and you saw
I found the date
like next week.
The next week, next 2 weeks. And I was just like book on the spot booking immediately, and it was so fortunate because the date was like 3 days before your IELTS was supposed to expire. I also had a slight problem with getting my police clearance certificate because you have to get a police clearance certificate
from
for
all the countries you lived
in the last 10 years. So I was supposed to get from the UK, but then their website was down. I was like, God, I beg. But we got that sorted, got our Nigerian one sorted, packed all our documents, got our proof of funds.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Luckily,
oh my God.
Proof of funds is usually the biggest struggle. But luckily for us, we'd been saving up quite a while. First of all, this is a master saver here.
No, babe, don't whine me, bro.
She will save before anything.
Oh yes, I do save before anything. But still, babe,
yeah.
See, I didn't even think about this part as well. You know how I'm always like, oh, thank God I joined you. Why I say thank God I joined you is because I just thought it would be so stressful because I have my work history is kind of like, I was a doctor for a bit, then I did comms, and I just felt like it's just so complicated. Yours was very straightforward. You worked at the same thing, like the same field, right? Yeah, but then I also did not think about the fact that, because I was thinking if they should call me, my parents would have to do bond or whatever for me, because I definitely would not have had enough money for my proof of funds. But then, like, when we joined there, then you also helped my life in that too. So yes,
because for me, since like beginning of COVID, when I already saw that more, the way Naira and dollar are moving,
you're receiving dollars, so smart.
So that from then, I think dollar was when dollar moved from 360 to 420. I remember myself and my neighbor upstairs, Kennedy, we're just like, we can't be giving Naira again. So since that day, I said any money I get, I want to save, I change to dollars. I don't care what the rate is. I don't care what's going on. It's funny because
expert tip.
Since that day, the Naira dollar
never came down, bro.
Imagine I started changing money at 420. 420.
And now what is Naira now? It's like 700.
Now it's like 750.
Headache.
So it never came. So if you're thinking, don't worry, it didn't come down. It doubled. It went double. So yeah, I was able to save, quite a lot and I was not bothered by the exchange rate because I had my money
in dollars. Yeah,
so we had that, some dollar documents, then the real waits now started.
We didn't wait for long, although yes, but obviously because that's like the final one. That one is, if they say no, that's it.
Let me tell you something. If you think you were waiting before, submit your documents first. Because let me tell you what's gonna happen. When you're submitting your documents, you pay your fees.
Oh yes, that's true. We paid a lot of money.
Fees. I was sweating.
I know you wrote all that. How much? Do you remember? You have it on your notes app. Can you check for us?
The fee was 1,950 Canadian dollars for both of us.
Wait, this is the whole fee separately?
No, this was the application fee plus the
medicals, all of that.
Yeah, medical is part of the application fee. So the application fee plus the biometrics fee plus one other fee that RTF or something. That's everything is when you have your invitation to apply. So it was about almost 2,000 Canadian dollars that we paid.
So that's minus your IELTS.
Yeah, minus your IELTS,
your WES,
your police report.
Because
you're living in Nigeria, if you want that police report,
it's kind of expensive.
It's kind of expensive.
So in total, how much do you think that we spent individually?
I'd say minimum we spent is like 1 million each.
Yeah, I think it was definitely more than that.
That was because
definitely more than that.
We already had some money. That's just the fees that we paid.
Yeah, just
fees that we paid. Now you probably maybe spend like maybe 1.5-ish per person. So we paid everything, and then I had the longest 2 months of my life.
Yeah, I was chilled. I was so chilled. I feel like I was scared to hope. That was my problem. And then you were so sure, like, don't worry, they'll call us. And my mind was like, okay.
Yeah, like at that point in time, I knew
it was like
in my head. I was like, this one must enter.
I feel like you'll have been depressed if they didn't call us.
It must enter. Anyone do? Yeah, just like okay. We might go.
It's so crazy because even when they told us that, oh, come and submit your passport, I was still like, okay, what if they return the passport and they don't give us visa? So I was still not hopeful, but that's very bad. You should actually have faith.
And funny enough, right? A lot of people were like, oh, if you submit your papers, ITA take like maybe 3 to 6 months,
bro.
There's no this thing. Me, I say I don't know. You're talking about 3 to 6 months.
February.
Me, I even set dates. We submitted in November. I was like, anyhow they want to do it. July will not meet me in this country because
I was moving in the spirit.
Because first of all, my rent was going to expire.
In July. We didn't want to renew
I'm not going to renew that rent. And
actually, you're so sure? Are you so sure, babe?
There's a spirit. When you have faith.
Preach.
Preach.
I like it.
My bishop has trained me.
Which bishop?
Bishop David.
After
11 years in that school. But let's not digress.
Okay.
We submitted November 17th.
No, 20th.
November 20th, rather. Mm-hmm. By second week of December, they sent us a mail saying you can't do biometrics, and then let's wait. So me, every two business days, I'll go refresh. Alpha, where is this thing? Where is this thing? I'll go refresh, check. Nothing, no update. I was really like, and then went on a trip to
December,
Senegal, Cape Verde, and then lo and behold, we came back on the trip. About 2 or 3 weeks after we came back, end of January, I saw one nice mail that said ready for visa.
Oh, then I cancelled my application. Sorry, that's the part of it. I cancelled mine because I just joined his and applied.
Yeah, so actually the funny thing was because we had both kept our application and just added the second person, we both called at the same time. Like, so she had her own profile had
invitation to apply.
My profile had invitation to apply with hers dependent. Hers was me as dependent.
I feel like I was stressed because I was thinking about, you already had your referral letter from your NYSC. So I was already thinking that they were going. Sorry, I'm doing all of this because I knew like what I thought I was going to go through so much stress, and everything just kind of worked out. For my GT Bank work, my colleague literally did it for me. I didn't even have to go and see them. For my NYSC one, like, it just moved. Everything just moved. And
sorry for jumping a lot of things. Sorry. So I'm very unfocused, but just
I'm focused. He's unfocused.
Once again, I still refreshing every single day. I'll just go there. I'll do tracking. I even got a website that will track your
where the passport is at the moment.
Where the passport and everything. But I mean, after like 1 month, it was like 3 weeks, a month.
I don't even know. They sent it back. So I just checked my mail and I saw that my husband forwarded me an email from VFS, which basically was saying that our passports have been stamped and are back in Nigeria and we'll get them soon. And I'm just here like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Like, we're actually going to move to Canada. I feel like I knew this was going to happen, but I feel like I've been in denial. Not denial per se. It's like I knew that it was going to happen, but in my head is like, well, you don't know what can go bad, so just wait till you get your passports. And it's like, yeah, it's for real. Wow, that's good. They sent his own first.
Yeah, they sent mine first because as per primary applicant.
That's not why. I don't know why, but they sent his own first.
They sent my own, and I told my friend to pick it up. I told my friend Patrick to pick it up. I was like, Patrick, please let me collect it. Snap the picture. Let me know what is inside there.
And then go and keep it somewhere safe.
And then keep it safe. And then Patrick was like, this thing you're giving me is worse than central bank work. So he snapped it, kept it, and then how not knock on me. I was like, no. My own don't come. If I have to leave you, sorry, my dear.
What a betrayed.
Yeah, so I'm not a permanent resident. I got my passport stamped, my visa. I'm slumming it to you guys now.
Crack? Is this crack?
Next few months. So I just need to sort out a couple of things, liquidate my assets and say goodbye to the country.
What about your wife?
My wife has not gotten this, but you know, it is what it is.
Right.
You know, she just hustle.
For better, for worse, no.
Yeah. I need to move, so you know. But then
mine eventually came 1 year, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And it feels so surreal.
Now we're here. Actually came like a month before her.
Yeah.
Because immediately I got my ready for visa, I started applying very violently. Because I was like, you know what, I want to I was kind of at a crossroads. So I wanted. So we just recorded like a whole 10-12 minutes and realized that the camera stopped recording. So I'm just going to wrap it all up here nicely and Yes, basically I think through it all is understanding that God is faithful. And that's something that the Bishop really usually says, your network is your network. That really came through, throughout the entire process because we didn't pay anyone to help us through it. We actually just sort of relied on people we know. Yeah. And I want to send a special shout out to three of my friends who really helped us. Like Obiora and Yekwe. Shout out to you, my brother. Ebuka for really helping me, with templates, like how he did his. I know I pestered him with a lot of questions. Oge as well, and just like my community of friends, who had gone before and were not holding information or young to help. I'll just say if you want to do it on your own, fine. Make sure you get the details. If you want to pay someone to do it, that's also fine. Just make sure that it's a licensed immigration consultant. There was some stuff in the news a month ago. Yeah, I don't know. I just know they used to scam people. Yeah, literally these guys were
people are crazy.
Conglomerates. They'll pay them and they'll get fake admission letter and then people will not know. They will apply to RCC. They are rich here, go and resume school. The school is who are you? I don't know you. So it was really big in the news. So basically people are hungry on the street. So guys, make sure whoever uses licensed, see a license, they must be immigration lawyers. The government has
approved.
So just be careful about who you give. Leverage on the people you know, man. The network is your network. If you don't have any questions that you feel I'm able to help to ask, I'm not a professional. I can only tell you from how I did mine as an experience. So free, don't worry. But people have
so
also. Message me because the message class she has 1,001 DMs. So probably will not see.
You can leave a comment on this post and then I can get him to respond to the comments. I think that's the best one.
It's better leave a comment. If I don't enter my DMs.
Just leave a comment and then we'll respond to your comments.
I'll be checking the comments, replying questions. We also have a video. We have a video about some things.
No, we don't. Have you applied for care before?
You know that.
Do you know that one?
I'm
sure it can happen.
Sudanese passport.
Yeah,
women. Anyways, basically what we're trying to say is God is faithful. Delay is not denied.
Trust and timing.
Trust his timing because I know for sure, even when I think about the experience I've gained in my work and my professional life, my career, over the last 2 years of waiting. I know how it has really helped, even in my job here, how it helped me hit the ground running. I can imagine if I came then, what kind of experience. I don't know, to be honest, but I know that everything has sort of worked out for our good. And even when we thought that things were today, it just worked out. So trust God, trust the process, trust his will. Make sure that we are doing his will, and it will definitely work out. His timing is not yours. And above all, know that we love you. God loves you.
And also, if you guys have any kind of content you want to see from us, if you want to see him feature more regularly,
please, this is my side hustle. So
who's going to pay you?
Hello, please, my dear. You're gonna pay
in kind.
No problem. You want to pay in kind? No problem.
You overwork me.
Work rate 200%. Don't worry. You want to pay in kind, Abi?
When I fall sick, who will do that? Take care of me.
It's even better, sir.
Better to be hot.
Hot.
God, babe, stop.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to see more of me on here, let us know in the comments. Want to see less of me, let us know in the comments. I also do voiceovers for Cassie Daves. And yeah, anything, we're trying to branch out. By the way, this is the last we hear from us about PR.
Yeah.
One of the videos, guys.
Yeah, we're moving on.
We just want to tell you how it was for us. That's it.
We hope that you found this helpful, at least. Yeah. So we didn't want to just come up here and like tell you, oh, this is what you do, this is what you do. It's kind of like our own process and journey.
And everyone's journey is also a bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Like, see how our friend that got after our Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In 3 months, she has listened everything.
Yeah.
You know who you are. I've done consultants for you.
I don't think she watches my videos.
Well,
that's really another problem.
In fact, let me post the video and you don't comment. That's when we have stopped becoming friends. You know yourself. Your name starts with O.
And Sunday starts with O.
Yes. O. And your middle name starts with I, in case you're not sure. And you went to...
Oh my God, babe.
Sorry,
but yeah.
Page, babe. Yeah, page, babe. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, babe. PR process and journey to Canada. I feel... Hope no problem.
No, I was doing it because to have like sign on top, so like journey to Canada.
What type of crack?
You
Anyways.
don't have to you don't have to do that yet.
Professional, baby.
Sorry, professional.
I know you're not used to coming on, popular people YouTube channels, but you have to. Anyways, as I was saying, babe. When I go back there and that is not home recording. I will never be on my own. Remember, that's what you told me.